My name's KJ. I'm an ATP SMS. Welcome to Adaptive Solutions. Today's video is geared towards patients and clinicians. Today, we're going to give you some tools to understand how to pick cushions and details on specific cushions. But before we do, the advice and information that you see here is not tailored to your specific medical needs. But if you would like information tailored to your specific needs, leave a comment below. Okay, so the best way for you to be able to pick cushions is by giving you a look under the hood of several different cushion types. First up, we're going to look at the Matrix Multi. The Matrix line of seating is unique in that most of the cushions have two incontinence covers. This cover is stretchy, but like all incontinence covers, they don't breathe as well as other materials. The main benefit of an incontinence cover is it does not allow any liquids to pass through. So if you're having frequent accidents, you're going to want some kind of cushion that prevents those personal liquids from passing through. Underneath, you have a marble gel infused foam and a firmer foam underneath for support, but overall this cushion is very soft. Here in the upper right corner you can see how these cushions pressure map when I sit on them. Next up, the Ride Forward. This is another cushion with two different covers. An incontinence cover underneath to not let any liquids pass through to the foam of the cushion, and then an outer layer on top of that of this very unique material. What's unique about this cover is that it's actually spacer mesh fabric. This being the structure of the cushion, it has exceptional breathability because there's so much air that can flow underneath your bottom, in between you and the incontinence cover, which is a lot less breathable. Underneath, a layer of foam that's a little bit less soft, and then a top layer that's a little bit more soft. A difference you'll notice from the contouring of this shadow is that the way Ride designs attempts to spread the pressure out on your bottom is by contouring the foam to already accommodate sinking your pelvis lower and raised here where your bottom, your butt cheeks are, and where your thighs are. What this does is unload some of the weight from your pelvis and load more weight onto meaty tissues like your butt cheeks and your thighs. Here you can see how the Ride Forward pressure maps. Keep in mind, this is just an example, and pressure mapping results are limited. They're useful information. They are not the end-all be-all to which cushions are appropriate for you. A pressure map tells you where you're currently putting pressure. It does not tell you if the cushion breathes well, if it manages the temperature of your skin well, or if you're going to slide into a terrible posture. And so take it with a grain of salt that this is how I fit on these cushions, and you may even get a pressure map reading, but that does not necessarily mean that that's the perfect cushion for you. Next up, the Comfort M2, kind of the flagship cushion from Comfort Company, also coded as an E2607. The Matrix Multi from earlier, also an E2607. This has just one cover on it. The reason for that is that they build their outer cover with this incontinence fabric. That's positive and negative because on the one hand, you only have one cover and you can wipe it down, but on the other hand, it's going to be hotter. Incontinence material does not breathe well, so this is going to be sweatier, hold more moisture than if you had a breathable cover like the Ride Forward. The cushion itself also pretty squishy. Less squishy than the others. More structured. More structured means a little bit more support. Underneath, they have pre-contoured the cushion to load more weight onto your thighs and to your gluteus maximus. They have stacked 2 layers of cushion, a firmer foam, a softer layer on top. And then in the back, they have done an additional thing to help your pelvis sink in, a tailbone cutout. When you sit, there's less resistance. And here's how the cushion pressure maps when I sit on it. We're going to keep viewing cushions, but since you've made it this far, please make sure to like, subscribe, and comment on the video. It's no cost to you and helps support me in my mission to provide quality education at no cost. Please take a moment to share this video with someone that you know who may need quality information like this. Okay, next up, the Matrix PSP. It being another cushion from Motion Concepts, the Matrix is going to have 2 covers. And underneath, you'll notice this cushion's a little distinct in that it's not 2 layers of foam like every other cushion so far. It's also a little bit less squishy. That means that the base of your support is a little bit firmer. It achieves distributing pressure at your pelvis with minimal contour by having, similar to the M2, cutouts underneath. When a pelvis sits, it distributes the pressure, allowing the bottom to sink in further than through the rest of the cushion, effectively loading more weight through your buttocks and thighs. Seems like a theme. The spots on your bottom where you're likely to develop pressure wounds, right underneath your pelvis and underneath your tailbone, that's where we want to sink in and load the weight on other less dangerous parts of your bottom. So these waffle cutouts do a couple things. They do distribute pressure, but they also give lots of surface area for heat to dissipate underneath. This little gel overlay on top is different than most gel. Most of the time, gel comes in a packet that squishes and moves out of the way when you sit on it. Although that is great for submerging those bony spots of your pelvis, it's not so good at holding your pelvis in any particular position. And so by having an overlay of gel that does not move out of the way, it helps to submerge your bottom, but actually also helps to avoid thrusting forward. This material will bend and stretch, but not move out of the way. You can see how it pressure maps right here. You can see how it pressure maps right here. We're going to move on. All the cushions we've seen so far are in a category called E2607. Those are cushions that are meant to both distribute the pressure on your bottom and contour to help position your body. Right now, we're going to look at a whole different category called adjustable skin protection and positioning. These cushions are a little bit more serious, usually for people who have been in a wheelchair for some time already or have some kind of asymmetry in their position. First, we're going to look at a cushion that most people know. The air bladder cushion. It's kind of obvious what an air bladder cushion does to distribute pressure. Air is very soft. So when the air bladder is set correctly, your pelvis should sink and perfectly share the pressure among your whole bottom. Now that we've talked a little bit about the 2 things that cushions should do, though, it tells you pretty quickly why air cushions may not be your best option all the time. And so you can spread the pressure out wonderfully, but it's very hard to support a certain posture on an air cushion. I have with me the Star Lock cushion. Underneath you'll see plenty of these little individual fingers of air. And the reason I bring out the Starlock cushion instead of, for example, a Roho, is that it has a unique ability with this grid to lock out You see that? This locks out every individual cell. So when you sit in the position that you want, you can adjust their pelvis to accommodate and then lock out the cells and actually achieve some amount of positioning even though you're on an air cushion. Here you can see how it pressure maps, although keep in mind this cushion allows the patient or the clinician to constantly change how the pressure is loaded on someone by unlocking, redistributing air, and locking the cushion in place again. The reason I like this cushion is it gives me a very unique tool. which is a cushion that can variably distribute weight. So if you have someone that's had pressure wounds so many times that they don't have muscle tissue left to load on, they can constantly change which way the cushion is loading pressure. Always rotating allows the blood to keep flowing. Since you can always change around how the cushion is shaped, you have to understand how much to fill the cushion and the right way to lock it in. The last cushion I'm going to show you is another one of those very distinct tools. There's no other cushion like it. It's very unique, and so it gives me a unique tool to put in my toolbox when I'm positioning people. This is called the Ride Java cushion. You'll see, unlike all the other cushions, this is not flexible or soft. This is actually like an orthotic cushion. Even though there's a soft layer on top, the base is so firm, it is not flexible. And so this is my tool for actually getting great orthotic positioning for someone who prioritizes wanting to sit straight. One thing I should mention right away about both of the last two cushions, they are not great for those who are frequently incontinent because the covers don't protect against liquids passing through them, which means all the cushions are kind of a pain to clean. The cover for the Ride cushion, similar to the Forward, is made with a layer of this spacer fabric material. Very stretchy. And underneath is a totally unique shape. The philosophy behind Ride is not to share the pressure underneath your bottom, but rather to entirely offload it. You see, when you sit, your trochanters and your adipose tissue back here take the grand majority of the pressure and totally offload both your ischial tuberosities and your tailbone. Those little pointy bones on the bottom of your pelvis, which means not only are you not sharing pressure, you are offloading the pressure from those sensitive high-risk areas and loading extra pressure on the meatier parts of your tissue. That means this cushion is not for everyone. In fact, maybe a third of the patients that I see really want this type of orthotic positioning. Some people just want a cushion that they don't have to think too much about, but those who have sat for a long time and experienced the pains of sitting, the back pain, the pain on their bottom, the burning sensation of having to weight shift all the time and not getting good enough weight pressure distribution, this is totally unique and amazing for them. So there is a soft layer of foam with an incontinence-proof pad, and then underneath that, a firm base. The beautiful part of a cushion like this is that with all of the holes and lightweight material, it's extremely breathable. It even has an air channel drilled in to be able to transfer air as much as possible away from your bottom and into the environment. That helps to keep your skin cool, dry, and with the aggressive shape, helps to keep your pelvis from sliding forward. You can see how it pressure maps here. It's totally distinct because you are actually loading way more weight onto your thighs and to your butt cheeks, and you have basically no weight over the bony prominences of your pelvis. Thanks for staying tuned through the whole video. A huge thank you to mobility professionals who's helped to make making videos like this possible. They're in Southern California and are an amazing place to get your new custom wheelchair or urological supplies. Send me your thoughts and leave a note in the comment section below. Thank you so much for your interest. Bye.